This is going to be a video showing my completed Westinghouse 1974 Searchlight. The time this Searchlight was made was a time Mackenzie and I was changing over to Westinghouse in the 1974 when they started doing the changeover. This one has a replacement lens, was put on by the railroad. I reckon the original glass lens shattered, so they replaced it with a plastic shatterproof one. But what it is an imported lens, because it has General Signals Company on it. United States. I'm going to show you it operating, and then I'm going to open up the Searchlight and show you the bits I added on. Before I do the thing, the circle is not the original one. The original one was really dinged up and bent up, so the person I bought it off let me have a second one, was not dented up, because he gave me a new one. But this is the original, the same type of lens from the exact same year as Searchlight. It's not a different year, but it's the exact same year, this ring. I'll demonstrate changing colour. There's yellow. Here's the green. And back to stop. This signal has a correct railway padlock on it. A VR7P on it. I do have a VR-P7 master key. Note owning railway keys. The railway keys I have would still work on all P7P padlocks I use still on the railway network today. But this one I use only on this key I use on my signal and my signal only. So it looks a bit silly. You don't have the correct style padlock. There's the correct. Hang on. There's the correct padlock to the VRP7. No, 7P, not P7. Here goes the power supply falling off again. Let me put that back in. Let me put this back in and I'll show you inside the Searchlight, because I want to demonstrate this live, showing the inside. When it opens, you take the padlock off and undo the wing nut on the side. Inside the Searchlight, you have the 110 volt on this side, the 12 volt AC on this side. Well, it's, no, 11 volts AC normally here, but I got 9 volt AC. You can't get 11 volt AC power, so the closest you can get is 9 volt AC. Then you have the lamp bulb holder here for the lamp. So this is not the original one, but this is one would have been in this Searchlight originally, but not the original one. But it is a proper one. There it is there. With a 12 volt light bulb in it. I do have original Searchlight bulbs, but they don't run on 12 volts, they run on 10 volts, so you can't get 10 volt power supplies. That is not smoke coming out of that, that's just rust. But the way I got it wired up, I got the 12 volt straight to a 12 volt power supply. I got 12 volt car globes in here. That's just, well, to get the Searchlight insert, you got to undo those two bolts here and here, and the one on top to take the insert out. It's actually a good idea if starting like that, because the way it's so it can't fall. But this is dated 2008. It was tested last. Here's a 2008 date stamp. Next to it is a June or January 1974 stamp there. Now this Searchlight still is dated 1974 on it. It's still in perfect working order. There's no problems with it. The only thing is that's cracked. This is not glass. It's plastic. It's not glass. But it's a nice Searchlight insert. The time they built these, I started going away from glass because glass was shattered quite easily. But as I was mentioning before, notice how it's got Westinghouse, Mackenzie and Holland written on the back manufacturer's thing. Because the time this was made, like I mentioned before, the Mackenzie and Holland company broke up, and then it became Westinghouse in the mid-70s. I think around 1975 is when they started stamping it Westinghouse only. But this one is still stamped Mackenzie and Holland. But it's a nice Searchlight. There's nothing wrong with it. But this was taken off the railways due to level crossing removals. Recently, when level crossing did the Williamstown line doing North Williamstown Station, we lost a pair of Searchlights. A pair of Westinghouse ones on the semaphore post, and a extremely rare Metropolitan Vickers made in the UK one got removed as well. What's annoying. If I was a player of level crossing removals, I would preserve the searchlights and leave them in place and use them still on the new Skyway, because they're quite good searchlight seeds. And there's something wrong with this one. It's got Westinghouse, Break and Searchlight in Melbourne, but they also did Brisbane as well and Sydney. But searchlights are quite cool signals. In America, they first came out in the 1900s, but ours came out in the 60s, around 50s or 60s, I don't exactly know. But this one's quite sick. I'm actually mounted on a trolley, so I can actually move it about. There's the original bracket I took off of this. But the rest of this searchlight is original. The only thing not is that disc, but the disc is from original searchlight, because the original was defending the place my boys and gave me a good one. And the rest of it is original, except the lamp, but the lamp is what came out of a searchlight, similar to this one. But the only thing I got to replace, well, I did have to replace because there was no way I could get the bolts off. Half the bolts had to be destroyed to get them off. That's why I got new bolts. But mainly when I do searchlight, I tend to leave the original bolts on, but half the bolts had to be destroyed, or they snapped when I was trying to remove them. Even when they came off, they snapped. But mainly the bolts you can still get for these, but modern bolts. The best idea of doing new bolts is to paint them black, because I painted all the bolts black. And this is my old 1974 Westinghouse / Mackenzie and Holland searchlight.